Hello everyone. Welcome to the Klipzig and J-Pop podcast. I'm J-Pop.
I'm Klipzig.
And we have a New Year's resolution to do a podcast once a month. So we're going to try to stick to it.
So it may be a little rough. We didn't really plan it out very well, but we're going to stick to it and just go on with it.
We are YouTube professionals, all 70 subscribers, so we're trying our best. Oh, yeah. And our podcast is going to consist of two parts. We're going to have an anime section in the front, and then we're going to have a game section in the back for whatever topics we feel like discussing. And this segment will both, for anime and games, will be on the Dragon Ball franchise. And that's one because of the new Brawly movie that came out, and we went and saw it last week.
Yep.
And you know, it seemed like the easy thing to start with, so that's what we're doing. So, why don't you start with how you came to know Dragon Ball and what you love of the series? So just go ahead.
Yeah. So, growing up, when we were young, we didn't have a lot of anime on television, so we had to go out and look for it. I eventually got into anime through renting DVDs and whatnot, but eventually I found Dragon Ball Z from a small shop called Baseball Cards and Comics. So me and my brother would rent the movies, and we were like, "Oh, these are great!" And then we got into the TV show, and then it eventually came on to Cartoon Network, and yeah, that's how it all started.
A lot of us, Toonami and the Dragon Ball Z was the big point of anime when anime was finally coming to America, because it wasn't out. And in the before time, if you even knew about anime, it was very rare to find it. Like, my experience was, I don't know what channel it was on. I don't know what station. I couldn't even tell you the exact time. I just claimed that it was on in my youth. Let's see, if my age is that, 25 years ago, it was on at 5 a.m. on some channel, 5:30 a.m. And this is the Dragon Ball series. When Goku was younger, and Chi-Chi and Olaf actually had roles, and they actually did stuff in the Red Ribbon Army. But that's how I got into Dragon Ball during that time. And then when Toonami came out and there was Dragon Ball Z, watched every episode.
Oh yeah,
every episode. And then we fast forward to a little into our high school days, meeting you and your brother, finding out they were Dragon Ball Z fans, and watching the Brawly movies, watching GT. I never got through a whole lot of GT, but I did go through GT.
Yeah, I got through. James watched it more than I did, but I couldn't get through it. Mostly because Dragon Ball Z kind of broke me of long animes.
Long animes.
Now I kind of stick to the short ones.
To this day, I will not watch long animes, and a lot of you may hate this. I will not watch Naruto because it's long. I will not watch Bleach because it's long. I couldn't finish Yu Yu Hakusho. It was too long. And while I did watch it, I'm probably not going to watch another 50 episode of Gundam anything because it's just too long.
50 episodes seems to be about the mark for me.
That's the max mark.
The max. But it's not that I don't want to. It's just I'm afraid to lose all that time.
I just find it moves too slow. And I've lived it once in a lifetime. But I have watched a lot of Super. I haven't actually watched all of it. But I've seen Dragon Ball enough to know how this goes down. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of you out there have seen this before, and you know, we're seeing it again.
Oh yeah.
And let's move on to
the movie.
Well, let's move on to the other movies, because this isn't the first Brawly movie.
No, it isn't.
Right? This is the first canon Brawly movie.
it's a character that everyone loves, but his origins aren't very good, to say the least. Everyone kind of knows it. It's just Kakarot just made too much noise when he was a baby, and that's why he hates him.
That's the original one, right? He was too loud, and so Kakarot pisses him off.
But the character is cool. He's really cool.
The character is extremely cool, overpowering. I mean, that's all of Dragon Ball. It's who's more OP than the next, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like they always just, it's like, I always thought it was weird that Broly was like the forgotten child. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Nappa and Vegeta weren't there when Planet Vegeta blew up.
Yeah.
Spoilers, if you don't know that part about Dragon Ball, you're a little late.
Just a tad.
Just a hair. But and we'll try to not put any spoilers about the new Broly movie. But there are some things about the Dragon Ball universe you should already know if somehow you found this video anyway. And like, oh yeah, Vegeta and Nappa. Oh, there was we sent Kakarot to this planet, right? Mm-hmm. But nobody remembers Broly. There's no mention of Broly ever, and it's just, oh look, Super Saiyan Broly, muscles on muscles, and punch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are your feelings on the creators? Have you heard anything about? Because I have my imagination of how they thought of Broly, but have you heard of anything about
his origins, why they or how they came up with him?
How they came up with him?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Do you have any hypothesis? Well, dart guesses?
Nope.
See, the way I kind of view Broly is that he's almost like an anime version of Superman. He's just that, and Superman and Hulk, right?
That's how I imagine they came up with Goku. To me, his origins was Superman, but he gets stronger as like Hulk.
Okay. Okay, I imagine like Hulk, how he's like, he really is unbeatable, and I know you're a big comic lover, and what I hear from you and all the other ones is that they don't really beat the Hulk. Mm-hmm. They just like are able to take him to another planet and then like leave him there.
They deflect him, or they don't actually beat him. They just somehow go around him.
Yes, and like I feel like Dragon Ball did the same thing with Broly. They never actually beat him. Mm-hmm. It's just like, oh, space dimensional rift open up and he's sucked away for now, but when will he be back?
Yep.
Like they treat Broly so powerfully, and he never actually loses.
Yes.
Not in the traditional sense, like Hulk. And I've always thought of Broly in that manner. So why don't you talk about the original Broly movies and your thoughts of them?
Again, storyline isn't very good. The weakest one is probably Bio Broly. But
can't say that without laughing.
I know. But all three movies were just about fighting. That's all it really was. And same thing with the new movie as well.
Agreed.
It's mostly about the fighting, but at least the newest movie fleshes out his backstory, and it's, from what I hear, it's supposed to be canon now.
Yes.
They're actually going to be bringing it into the Super Series.
If you've seen one Broly movie, you kind of have seen them all. It's like an action film. It's like if you go to watch Steven Seagal, if you go to watch Van Damme, you know what you're there to watch for,
Oh,
the story, the characters, whatever. Let's see some kick-assness.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And Broly is, I'm not sure how much Japan intended this, but he is the biggest brawler of all of Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no contest of his fighting style and how aggressive he is. And the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend going to watch it. I mean, it's not going to win any Global Globes or anything like that, but it's good.
It's an experience. If you like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball period, it's one of the few opportunities to actually watch it in the theaters.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why it was like, yeah, sure. When are we gonna get this chance? You know?
Oh yeah, that's why I kind of jumped at the chance for it because it was an experience to see their logo animation at the beginning of the movie. It's just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually watching this
in America. I have to fly to Japan for this, and they're speaking English.
Oh yeah.
I have to admit, I love the English version of Dragon Ball. We're not going to get into discussion of subs versus dubs. That's a whole nother conversation. But specifically for Dragon Ball, I do love the dubbing of Dragon Ball, and I've always loved it. And
personally, I like dubs, but with Dragon Ball, because I've watched so much of it dubbed or subbed, I'm used to both.
I mean, I'm used to both as well. I have a couple DVD episodes, and like my mom got it for me because she knew I liked Dragon Ball. Each DVD came with like 3 episodes, so I got like 6 episodes. Like I only get to see half of the Ginyu fight. That's all I have. But I listened to it in Japanese, and it's like Goku sounds, not wimpy is the wrong word, but like more childish.
Yes.
In the Japanese version, but it fits with his character a lot more.
Yeah.
But I like the English version of Vegeta, of how pissed off where Vegeta gets. I think that's way better in English than in Japanese, in my opinion. Okay. But we got to see it in the movie theaters. I did like it's. There are some things that are different. The association between Goku and Brawly, or Brawly with the rest of it, is slightly changed, but it's not that much different.
Yeah.
Something I actually just thought of just sitting here that is a plot hole is they actually mess with Goku's origin in this.
Oh yeah. That's the thing about this movie. They kind of touched on a lot of origins of where everybody was at the time that they sent all 3 of them away.
Yes, but
so because with Frieza there, they redo the origins of how Frieza kills off the Saiyans, but it lets you know where all 3 were at the time.
Yes. Spoilers. You can get to see Goku's mother. But also, it actually messes with what Vegeta said in the Dragon Ball Z series, that Goku was sent to this sent to planet Earth to conquer it. Yes. If you go by what the movies true. If you go by what the movie says, that's not true. I'm not gonna spoil what they actually did, but that's not true. But it's almost not important. Goku sent Earth. Before planet explode. The important parts are still there.
See, this origin is more true to life to the Superman origins.
It is Superman.
Yeah.
I will never look at Goku. I mean, okay, to say that I won't look at it again, Screw Attack, not sponsored by Screw Attack, but they have their battles, and they had Goku versus Superman, which is the comparison you would make. And oh my god, I didn't realize how similar they really, really were.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's original, folks. Anybody, we all steal it from somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else already came up with it.
You know what? 2 guys sitting on a couch talking about stuff. Beavis and Butthead did it long before us.
Oh yeah.
So, ain't none of us are originals.
True.
So they have that. They have. Admittingly, the first half of the movie is a lot of the origin. And to say it's slow, what movie is not slow in the beginning, though?
Yeah.
You know?
But then you gotta think, it's only an hour and a half movie, and what are they gonna fill it with? They're not gonna fight the entire time. They're gonna have some sort of story in it.
Yeah, they do. But I did like it. I think the excuse of why Brawly and Goku fight is better than Goku crying all the time.
Oh yeah.
I think it's much more fitting. The how they got to be there are certain conveniences, but I mean, time has passed. They start with before, with when around the time Planet Vegeta was destroyed, and then now we go all the way to Super's timeline.
Yes.
And let me ask you, because everybody laughed, and so did I. What did you think of Frieza in this movie?
It's Frieza again, but since you've already watched the Super series, I haven't. I barely watched any of it. I probably haven't sat down and watched a full episode. So to me, it was learning more about Frieza and his personality outside of what we saw in Dragon Ball Z.
To be honest, I liked what they did with Frieza, but like he slipped into a comedy villain now. Like, he's no longer menacing. He's no longer threatening. It's like almost any old cartoon series where you defeat the bad guy, send them back home packing, and they'll be back sometime in several episodes. Shredder comes back. His
whole reason for wanting the Dragon Balls. That was a little over the top.
You know what though? All right. Full disclosure, I'm not very tall. All right, and you know what? Frieza's onto something. Frieza is onto something. I liked it, and you know what? You know, he thought hard about it because of the reasoning and the process of doing it. Everything, like it, for a stupid idea.
Yeah,
it is stupid. They really put thought into it, and somebody like me can appreciate it.
Okay, so there is a reason to do it. All right.
But
maybe it's a little over the top.
Frieza has always had a feminine side to him.
Yes.
And I almost liked because Bulma wanted the Dragon Balls for a near similar reason.
Yes.
I actually find her reasoning much more acceptable though than Frieza's.
Yeah. But still a total waste of a wish.
A total waste of the grandeur of powers. The big undo button. You know, their wishes. It's plot convenience.
Yes, it is.
It's all plot convenience.
Plot convenience and just a jab at a joke.
Yes. Let's talk about the characters that don't exist in this movie. It's actually quite minimalistic. In terms of side characters.
Yes.
Like, what is the most surprising character that was not in there for you?
It's two. It's Krillin and Piccolo.
Well, he
was in it, but I expected all of them to be in it to at least face off, just kind of like the first one.
Kind of we'll start
all hands on deck kind of thing.
The all hands, we'll all just stand there. A couple of these will start, and after they're done, then the big boys come out, right? You know, but. I have to admit, I'm glad they didn't do that for time's sake.
Oh, yeah.
Because they filled it up right, but I am shocked that Krillin wasn't there. Only because Krillin has always been there.
Yeah, he's always been at least somewhere in the background doing something.
And when it comes to the Broly movies, you know, Gohan, Goten, you know, could have been there in some of them.
Yeah, I didn't think about Gohan, too, yeah.
Yeah, there actually aren't a whole lot of characters in it. I don't think you see. You don't even see Chi-Chi, do you?
No, you do.
When?
Oh,
Bulma.
no. Yeah, you see Bulma. You don't see
Bulma,
Chi-Chi.
but you don't see Chi-Chi. You don't see any of the parent, Bulma's father. I don't think.
No.
Like they're not here. They don't exist. However, they give they did put in a lot of effort to show snippets of the Ginyu Force.
Yes. All the other side characters for the Frieza Force.
For the Frieza Force, you see Nappa, a certain version of Raditz.
Yep.
So that side, like, since they also have very short lifespan in the Dragon Ball universe, it was kind of cool to see them. None of them are voiced, so they're all just.
Yeah. But it was nostalgic to see them again. I was like, oh.
It was. It was nostalgic to see them again because that's, they have their moment, then they're gone.
Yep.
So there's that. Now, which character would you like to talk about? Because there are basically, Bulma was there. Oh, I guess the only characters that were there is Whis and Beerus.
Yes.
And they were there. They were like the Krillin. They were there. Just not helpless.
Since I don't know Super all that much, are the rest of the characters in Super? Or does it mostly focus on Beerus, Whis?
No, they're all there.
Oh, they're all there.
They are all there. When Beerus was going to destroy the planet, all hands were on deck.
Oh, okay.
When it was the Universe Tournament and the Universes Tournament. Sorry, I don't know the name of it. They were all there, or most of them was there.
Okay.
Krillin's daughter was there. They had the whole kit and caboodle. They're all there. They all still exist.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if the Super Series just focused on the main few characters.
No, it does involve everybody.
Okay.
And does a really good job.
Okay.
The marriage between... Okay, I think everybody loves this character. And I'll say everybody has loved the marriage between Bulma and Vegeta. Yeah. And I think everybody has loved what Vegeta has become.
Mm-hmm.
Since you haven't seen that much Super, in the show, his attitude is reflected of how it is in Super. What do you think of Vegeta?
He kind of became what Dragon Ball Z kind of hinted at or GT, I think, was being more of a father figure.
That's true. You know what? That's true because they gave him the mustache and the daughter.
Yeah,
they did. That's right. Yeah. When his daughter plays him, it's so funny.
Yes.
You know what? And that started at the end of Z, at the end of Buu Saga.
Yes.
Vegeta. I did like it. Okay, probably my favorite speech of the whole Dragon Ball series was when Vegeta let himself be controlled by Majin.
Mm-hmm.
And, he used to be a vicious, cold-blooded warrior. He has this whole speech. I won't give the whole speech, but then he realized he had settled down, had a family, and he changed. But his pursuit of beating Goku never actually stopped.
Yeah.
He is the Prince of all Saiyans. He should be the strongest in all the speeches, right? Mm-hmm. So, like the way their relationship is, it is all continuing of that. That is Vegeta on who he becomes, and I love every minute of Vegeta. He's, I think he's my favorite character. But mostly for another reason we'll get to in a little bit. Okay. So, what about Goku?
Goku still seemed to be the same. Just always looking for that stronger opponent to fight against. The thing that I was most surprised at was his willingness to let Frieza live.
Goku lets everyone live, though.
I know he does, but it was because Frieza was, I think, the first super evil character.
Yes.
I thought he would at least let him die, but it goes back to the original Dragon Ball, how every bad guy that he fought, he eventually befriends.
Yes. Goku does that. It's like after a whole fight, it's like, nice fight. Great job. Yes. It's like a martial arts tournament. You know, you're at each other, you're going at it, but hey, shake hands, smile at the end of it, right? That's Goku.
So it kind of makes me wonder if Cell is eventually going to come back.
But Cell died. Gohan killed him.
Yeah, I know. I know, but that would be the last villain that would need to come back. Because
Boo has come back. Yeah.
Right. At the end of Z, he befriended Boo. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
That's and Boo is still in the Super Series. He lives with Hercule.
Okay.
Mr. Satan. Mr. Satan.
Okay.
Okay. Now for the main star, Brawly.
Yes.
What do you want to start with? His how you felt about the character, his after seeing his backstory, and your thoughts on it.
It makes sense to me. Well, I don't know if I want to give away any spoilers. But
spoiler alert.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
So, since they were on that planet and he was basically raised by his father, and his father was all he knew, it kind of makes sense to me why his personality is the way it is.
Yes, I thought that they drove his personality, how he came to be that perfectly. They reinforced that fact actually a bit too much with the people that discovered him on that planet, but his attitude, his destructiveness, his upbringing, the environment he was in, they flesh it out, and it's like you would grow up to be like that if you were under those circumstances.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, you'd be dead. So that's like because they did all that, they made Brawly very human to me. He wasn't just beast, power, fight, Hulk smash. He was actually very, very human to me. Up until the point when they were in the middle of fighting. When we get to that, but yeah, what you said was true. His father, the planet they were on, and all of that. I think it's the best and most appropriate Brawly backstory that there is. Yeah. And if this is the canon one, they finally got it right.
Yeah. I just hope that if he is going to continue into the Super Series, he develops more of a personality.
But he does have that room for it, too.
Yes, he does have that room for it.
He has... This is a strong word, but he has friends. A bit strong. But... So there's... He's not alone. There's... He has chance for human growth.
Yeah.
Social growth. And... I think it's the best Brawly that they have.
Yeah.
I think so. Now, Brawly, as I know it, is this vicious... We've made the joke already 100 times that he's like Hulk and when he fights.
Yeah.
And he's just raw viciousness. Like, it's not just power, not rage. It's intimidating. It's
primal.
It's primal. Primal is exactly it. And of all the Brawly fights that you have seen, where would you put this one?
It would probably be up there. It would probably be the number one.
I say it's the number one, but it's also cheating. They do give it the proper animation that it should.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really like about this movie is that they did some things but with the animation that I've never seen before.
Yes. They did some wild stuff. It's almost like they had, what would you say, 5 or 6 different styles in that fight. Yeah,
like for example, you know how when they hit each other and they go flying across, and sometimes they'll hit a mountain and go through it. Well, you'll see that in first person view of them going through it.
It was
pretty cool.
They did, yeah. For those and our buddy that is into art, maybe we had a discussion, realize how anime has the worst animation of all animations. And sorry, folks, it's true. They shortcut everything, and that's why whenever you watch Dragon Ball and they get hit through a mountain, you see the mountain really far back. This black streak goes from one end out to the other, and the mountain explodes. Right? This is much better than that. Yes. the point of views that they have are great. The fighting is not just blurry fists going back and forth. They did that for like half a second through the whole fight. Just real quick. Like, yeah, we still know how to do this, but they didn't use that for a lot of the fights. Yeah. I thought it was the fight was really, really good. In my opinion, the first half of the fight. Because in Dragon Ball, you fight, you get stronger, you go up levels to 1 to 2 to God to Super God to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo God HD Remix.
Yes.
EX3. There's always the next level, and I thought that the first half was the best part of the fight.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of brawling. Brawly, it was funny because Brawly is the one I guess this is a spoiler, but Brawly comes in as the underdog in this fight.
Yes, he does.
It's weird. And Brawly rises to the challenge.
Because in this movie, whereas in the previous 3 Brawly movies, when he would fight because he loved it and he just wanted these guys to die. Whereas in this movie, he's kind of forced into it.
Yes.
He's just doing it because somebody told him to. So that's why he's kind of the underdog and why you're kind of rooting for him a little bit.
Yeah. It's funny when his chains go. He's not wearing physical chains, but when he's unlocked and he goes into Brawly, it is the same ruthless Brawly. I love it when he crushes, I think it's Vegeta, into the side of... spoilers are at the North Pole. They decide to have an ice scene, and he's crushing his face along the side of the ice.
I think that was Goku.
That might have been Goku, and like all of the beat down when Brawly gets going, like that's all there.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I think the first half is my favorite because a lot of that stuff happens up front. Because then as they start going up levels, there are beams, there are explosions. They do a little bit of the cheaty animation stuff. Yeah. But, like, it was... You go to watch it for the fight, you're not disappointed. If that's the reason why you're there, which is ultimately the reason why Brawly exists in the first place, it delivers.
Yes.
Do you have any final words about? I'm gonna go on to complaints or anything you didn't like about the movie, but any other things you want to say about the movie?
No, just go and see it.
Go and see it.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
All right. Any nitpicky things that you didn't like about the movie?
You already know. The animation, it's a bit inconsistent. You can tell where they spent their money, which was on the fight scenes.
Yes. Good job.
But you can tell that for some of the other scenes where they're talking to each other, the quality goes down.
I mean, and that's true for all animation, but there was one particular part, and we talked about this. It is bad by TV series standards. Yeah, and this is a movie. Like the rest of
it takes you out of the movie. It really does, because you're thinking like, why did they let that go?
Yeah, like it looks bad. You'll know what it is when you see it. There's no mistaking it. So we have that.
There was another one that I noticed. Like, I forgot who it was. It was either Goku or Vegeta. They put up 3 fingers, and his hand looked so weird.
Yes. I didn't think it looked weird. I know what scene you're talking about. I guess
like one finger was fatter than the rest of them. So
at the end of the movie, after it's all done, they have these beautiful Dragon Ball Super symbol, everything, right? Looks beautiful at the end, and then the ending credits roll. All right? In the very beginning, when they're introducing the show, they put up Dragon Ball Super or whatever it was. It is this ugly,
it's a very plain font,
white color, not even a black outline, plain font, and I sat in the middle of the movie theater like, the fuck is that title screen?
I know you guys got upset with that, but I'm kind of used to it. They've done that in Japan with their older movies and shows and stuff, and some older movies as well in America, where they'll put up the title of the movies, but it's very plain font on white. So I have seen it quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so if that has a reason, then I am just ignorant, and I need to get cultured. but
I'll have to find a couple of examples, but I've seen it done quite a bit.
If it is done, okay, then there's a history, a tradition, a culture to it, but it looked lazy.
Yeah, it did.
Like, it looks lazy.
The way you guys complained about it was pretty funny.
It's so obvious how lazy it is, you know, but if it has a purpose, fine. And that, you know, it was my first impression.
Yeah.
And then, but the ending one was beautiful.
Yeah.
It had all the dragons, green and orange, you know, Dragon Ball colors, and it was beautiful. I poke fun at anime only because we've seen so much of it, and
yes.
Dragon Ball. There is too much Dragon Ball, and we said this in the beginning. It just it goes. It's episode after episode after episode. Yeah. Okay, and I have something that I need to figure out because maybe some of you know. There's this YouTube channel called Team 4 Star. They have this Dragon Ball Z abridged, and I love it to death. And I think it's the only way to watch Dragon Ball because it hits all the key points, it's funny as hell, and it's faster. Like, there's no comparison. I could watch it, yes. Like, easily. But I heard that you told me while we were having lunch today that you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it. And
I'm waiting to hear this.
Well, just like I said before, because Dragon Ball was so long, and because I would watch it every time it came on to Cartoon Network, and you know how there was a long period, like a year and a half, where they were just showing the same episodes over and over and over again.
Yes.
It kind of broke me from even trying to want to watch it again.
Toonami did do that. You would see the same saga. Like, we'd watch Raditz to Vegeta, Raditz to Vegeta, Raditz to Vegeta. Then we go to Frieza, Frieza. Like, they would repeat in that small loop.
Yeah, and I think for a long time,
and it would end at the Ginyu Force, right?
It would end at the Ginyu Force. I'm like, what happens?
Yeah, and you'd never get to see the next episode, and it was always depressing. That it's like, no, we're back here, yeah. but we watched it because we loved it, and yeah, anime was hard back then. Yeah. Anime was hard back then.
Yeah, it was hard getting anything.
You want to know how grown men like us love Sailor Moon? There was nothing else.
There's nothing else.
There was nothing else. Thank God Pokemon came along. I couldn't stand Sailor Moon. I tried to watch an episode of Sailor Moon. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. Oh my God. I still recommend watching Team 4 Star.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because in 20 episodes, you can go from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z to the end of Vegeta.
Okay.
It's the best. And the reason why I love Vegeta the most is Team 4 Star's Vegeta hits every note. Every note. It is my favorite version of Vegeta. Okay. It enhances it more. I totally recommend it. Please recommend it to him too, that he needs to watch it.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're going to move on. We have no scene transition. We're not that fancy.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to the game section of our podcast.
Yep.
And this is also on Dragon Ball. And we're gamers just the same. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if you see my channel, you see that I game. Klipzig's no different.
Yep.
And there are a lot of Dragon Ball games.
There's quite a bit.
And we're going to just go with what we know.
Yeah, I remember when emulators ROMs first started coming out, I was able to play some of the old Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo.
Yep, same here.
Dragon Ball games, and they were just absolute poo.
The Super Nintendo fighting ones were bad. Yeah. Like they were clunky. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't the worst battle system though.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
And it was fun to just be able to play something that was Dragon Ball Z related.
And they were faithful to the characters. Like, if you ever watch them when they do the Kamehameha, Piccolo's Bakaka's special beam cannon. I can't pronounce it either. Or Vegeta's final flash. Like, even though it's 16-bit sound, it sounded like they were trying in 16-bit. And it was really, really cool. I tried to play, I don't know what it was, some RPG one with a card system. All I knew is throw bigger card at them, you do damage, right?
Yeah, I remember that one.
But, like, because I couldn't read what I needed to do, it's like, I know the storyline, and I kind of, like, I was making my way. I probably got through, like, half the game. But then I couldn't figure out where to go. You know, I didn't have the determination to finish it.
Yeah, a lot farther than I.
It was hard.
Oh,
It wasn't easy. I know that much. And when I met you, he let me borrow his Sega Saturn.
Oh yeah, I was one of the few kids that actually had a Sega Saturn, and one of the games that I had was Dragon Ball Z, The Legend, and it was remembering it. I remember it being very fun. It was a game that I loved a lot, but it was basically a 3-on-3 fighter. It was 2D sprites in a 3D environment. You would press up to go forward, down to go backwards, and you would use left and right to try and dodge and do certain attacks. But after watching reviews again, kind of made me realize how repetitive it is, because every character is interchangeable. It doesn't matter who you play as; everybody plays exactly the same.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody plays the same, and I enjoyed it too. But I even then realized it was repetitive, though I enjoyed it. And some matches would last forever. The only way you actually did damage to an opponent was they have like this struggle meter, and you have to get the struggle meter all the way to your side, and then it does this animation thing, Kamehameha, and you would take a third of their life.
So you had to beat each character 3 times with sometimes 3 or more characters in each battle.
Yes.
So it took quite a long time sometimes. But yeah.
I would also say for that game, the beams, they have a projectile in it. It's near useless. The only thing it's good for is to like interrupt somebody.
Yeah, interrupt them from powering back up.
Yes. But it does next to no damage. Next to none. It actually might even start healing them. You know?
The way it played, it felt like you were playing something that was truly Dragon Ball Z.
It was, as you put it, as your words, it is very fluid.
Whereas compared to the other Super Nintendo games where it was very clunky and hard to play.
Yes, and while you were playing Dragon Ball characters, this one felt like you were fighting like they do in Dragon Ball. Like, you actually hit them up into the sky, you would teleport to the side and punch them right, punch them up, punch them down.
You'd be flying all over the place.
You'd be flying all over the place, and that was so much fun. And then you slam them to the ground. Like, that was the part that enthralled us the most. And that was at the time and for a while, it's the only game that got that part right.
Oh, yeah.
For a long, 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 long time. I actually also heard that there's like a secret fight in it. I think your brother was saying if you, as the characters according to storyline, died when you should have and did everything to the story, you would actually unlock to another part of the story or something like that.
Probably. I don't remember.
I didn't let
It's been so long.
I didn't let characters where like Yamcha died, but Yamcha should have died. So you know it.
Yeah.
You know, there was that.
That, and it would have took even longer because then you have to wait for their bar to go up and to let them die.
Yes, it's like, come on, hit me already. That's not good game design. If that was the case, yeah. I'm not sure if it's true. It was such a long time ago. And the next Dragon Ball game that I owned was Budokai 3, and by this point. Budokai 1 and 2 were still a hair on the clunky side comparable to the SNES. At least my memory of it. If my memory's wrong, okay. But Budokai 3 actually changed. It was 2D. Everything was smoother. They had all the things you love about Dragon Ball and then some in a more closed quarters fighting. And, you know, you could launch them in the air and teleport punch. Somebody's about to throw a Kamehameha. You teleport behind them and then you smack them in the back of the head, right? They had the ki charging, which I thought was imbalanced and okay. I don't think it was the best execution in my opinion, but it was akin to Dragon Ball. And when we played over at another friend's house, they when you're striking them and you hit the guard button at the right moment, they actually dodge. You know, and how they look like they do in the show when they're swinging and punching and they're like, dodge, 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 dodge. Like, they had that in it. They had all the things of Dragon Ball. It was the first Dragon Ball game to get it right. Yeah. And Budokai 3 was such a joy to play. Like, unlocking Brawly and all the characters, going up the Super Saiyan levels. Oh, I forgot they had the rock, paper, scissors thing. The Dragon Rush is what I think is what they called it. You do something, you're like chasing them, and it's like rock, paper, scissors. And if you choose the right thing, you keep going. Or if you guess right, you like parry them and then knock them to the ground, right? And it was like the show. Yeah. Not skill based, but it was like the show. Yeah. And it was
getting better at getting to that feeling of Dragon Ball.
Yes, it was the first one that we all said, this is Dragon Ball. We all finally felt it. Oh, yeah. And I know they have the Catchy series afterwards. I didn't play any of them. They almost, you know what, I'm not even going to comment on them. I may have it mistaken for something else. But like I heard, it's almost like Budokai 3 became the new standard, and they all just kind of followed suit but stayed around there. Yeah. When I looked at it, it looked like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, you know, the next one. So it wasn't revolutionary. I probably was doing other things as well. But you have played other Dragon Ball
I played recently. Back in the PlayStation 1 era, I played the GT Final Bout. I barely remember it, so it probably means I didn't play it very much, but I did play it. It was okay. It was a basic 2D fighter or a 3D fighter. The most recent one I played was Xenoverse, and again I tried playing it. You're able to create your own character, which was pretty cool, but because there was so much to do, at this age it felt a little overwhelming with what I have to do at home. And knowing how much stuff there is to do in the game, I quickly stopped playing it.
I have heard Xenoverse is good, but if a game's time consuming, gaming for us, we can't do it all day anymore. We don't have that luxury. We are grown adults and
need to be able to get in there, play it real quick, and then done.
We have adulting things, and the latest Dragon Ball game is overwhelmingly popular.
I know, it looks pretty good.
And I'm doing a disservice to myself by having not already got it. Is Dragon Ball Fighter Z, or as I like to call it, Dragon Ball Fighters. And like immediately when I watched it, I mean, for those that have seen some of my channel, I'm a big fighting game person. Once in a lifetime, I tried to go pro. Found out very quickly I was not going to be pro. I won't sell myself short. I am one of the better fighting gamers that you might come across in real life. Yeah. And it's very, very similar to the 3-on-3, like Marvel vs. Capcom series, right? It's really ripped off of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, for the most part. And 3, however you want to phrase it. But, like, you know, when you get into these games, you know, you hit them, launch them up, you combo them in the air, and you do super moves. And then your other partner comes in, what they call DHC, and they put in a super move, right? And it's like, you know, you do all these big combos. They have power bars that go up, and you know, you're there guarding, and then you try to open them up, send them flying. You could do counter. I've seen counter, teleport, kicks, punches, wall bounces. If you've seen video game fighting game mechanics of like Marvel, this is what they are.
Oh, yeah.
I do like some of the choices that they did make. One is that after somebody's defeated and the next person comes in, they have this little animation where they clash forearms against each other and they start neutral. And I like the choice that they made on that, only because Marvel 2 and Marvel 3 are all known for being very, very cheap.
Yeah.
It's all one-touch deaths. When you get to pros, you can't make a mistake. Right. Once you kill somebody, you always see them push their bodies all the way to the edge, so they automatically trapped in the corner when they come in, and they do stuff. That's how the realm works. They eliminated that by always having them in neutral, and I thought it was a really great choice.
Yeah.
The use of balancing and damage scaling, they were all very, very, very aware of how they wanted to construct this game. And they have auto combos. You can do manual combos. The supers are easy to execute. The assists. It's known that certain assists are better than others. I think that's always going to be the case in fighting games. It's inevitable. I still think they did a really good job. They have different versions, so they didn't do the whole powering up thing like they did in Budokai 3. You have Super Saiyan Goku. Yes. Super God Goku. You have, you know, the different versions of Vegeta and all that stuff. And certain characters are really, really unique. Krillin looks unique. Piccolo looks unique. You know, and I'm glad they, you know, power levels are eliminated. You know, for the most... Some are faster than others, some are stronger than others, but they try to make a balance so Yamcha's viable. Tien's viable.
Yeah, that way you're not picking the same... Goku or Vegeta.
It's not it's purposely not Dragon Ball tier listed or anything, but it looks like a really, really fun game.
Yes.
And if you don't already have it, I recommend to anybody that wants a good fighting game. They're doing it right. One day I'll eventually get it. They have a character pack. All fighting games are doing that.
Steam sale.
Next Steam sale. Yep. And hopefully it's long after Kingdom Hearts 3 is done, because Kingdom Hearts comes out next week, and I'm going to be playing that. So, you know.
There you go.
That'll be there for another discussion. So, you want to have any closing things to say?
No. Looking forward to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Other than that,
I think that'll do it.
Did you want to talk about what we had for lunch?
Sure.
So we went to Red Lobster, and I had the...
Full disclosure.
Yes.
There we go.
I had the shrimp tacos, and we had the
shrimp pot stickers.
The shrimp pot stickers. They were actually pretty good.
The shrimp pot stickers were good. The sauce that they had, awesome. I'm not sure if it was for 3 pot stickers. I'm not sure if it was worth $6.
Yeah,
maybe
$2 per. Yeah.
Maybe if you give us 4, it would have been. I think having 4 then would have been good. It's good. If you make money, give it a try.
Yeah.
And he had different the bread that they bring at a different Red Lobster. And how did you say that it was?
This time it was a lot better. The one that I had at the last time I had Red Lobster was way too salty. You can tell that they put too much seasoning or too much salt.
Yeah, the biscuits at Red Lobster, recommend. Absolutely recommend. So, all right. Well, that does it for our January podcast. We will have one next month in February. There's no set schedule on it. We will do it when we're able to do it. So this one might come quickly in early February. It might not. And we're gonna do one. Our New Year's resolution: do one every month.
At least every month.
At least every month.
Whether we're ready or not.
we are excluding December because it's Christmas. The families to attend to. We're gonna allow ourselves that mistake. So we're not gonna work so hard on that
or
one.
we can try working maybe 2 in November or something.
We could try.
We could
First,
try.
right now we're 1 for 1.
Yes.
Doing great.
We'll eventually get somewhere. We'll get somewhere where it's more consistent.
Yeah. If you have any comments, anything you'd like to say, please leave it down in the comments below. Please subscribe. Let us know if you're liking this.
Yeah. If you have any suggestions, let us know.
Yep. If this video only gets 10 views, come on. Your words will be very powerful. I won't be reading any other comments.
We'll read them all.
So, that's it for the Klipzig at J-Pop podcast. Oh, one thing I forgot. There is a point in the Brawley movie where they play Cha-La.
Oh, yes. That was nice.
It wasn't the same. It was a little remix.
Yes.
But I liked it. I was dancing I was swaying in the seat. Cha-la, hey, cha-la. All right. So, sneak that in there before we close out.
There you go.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Alrighty.
I won't edit out when I press stop. Bye.